Welcome back to another episode of Milwaukee Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And we've got another From the Cellar episode for you today. So for those of you that are familiar with our massive beer haul from a few months ago, we picked up a bunch of really great stuff for $500 here locally in Milwaukee. And two of the beers that we got out of that beer haul were these two Y2K beers from Central Waters. So we thought it would be good to pull these out, get them out of the cellar, and give them a shot here on the channel and see what we think after these beers have been aged.
Probably aged long enough at this point. So,
I'm thinking they've been aged long enough.
So the first one we got here is Y2K. It's a Y2K 2-year vintage. This is actually originally released December of 2016.
So 5 years old.
5 years old. And we looked into the Y2K series right before we actually started doing this, and it looked like that used to be a yearly series. I think this is the last year that we see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's after this, so if you guys know otherwise, let us know. But
the whole idea behind this series was the thought process was it's a survival kit for Y2K, because you know all that crazy stuff that happened in the year 2000. The year 2000, you know? So anyway.
So the Y2K was a barley wine series. This one comes in at 11.4%. So right where you expect a barley wine to come in. They're always a little bit more alcohol forward.
With 5 years in the bottle, it'll be interesting to see what is still going on with this thing. So let's get it in the glass.
Right, I'll pour them into both glasses, and we'll get this going.
Yeah, don't only do one glass.
The color you expect on a barley wine,
Looks
amber
like a barley
color.
wine.
Yeah.
Still got decent carbonation. Look at that.
I was worried about the carbonation. I was worried if it was going to be too much or
I was worried
nothing
there
at
wasn't
all.
going to be any.
No, it looks real good. Looks fresh. I mean, for being 5 years old.
It does. It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
But nice amber color. All right.
All
right, Ross.
All right.
Let's get a little nose on this 5-year-old barley wine. It smells like a barley wine.
Yeah, it really does. You're going to get a lot of alcohol forward, alcohol kind of on the nose with barley wines.
It's got that caramel toffee, It's got a perfect barley wine scent on
really
it.
does.
Like, it really does.
It's
Sweetness.
I know I said while I was pouring it, it smells fresh. You know,
It does. Oh, man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
It's really good.
Whoa.
It's a roller coaster of like taste and everything.
Oh my God.
It's kind of like subtle and light in the front end, and then as it gets in the back end, that's where it actually kind of hits you more in the back end than anything else.
It's weird. Like the front end of the beer is almost like there's almost nothing there, but then like as it goes like to the back end of the beer, it like there's like a strong alcohol bite, but then that like sweetness and the toffee and the caramel notes like really punch you on the back end of the beer. Wow.
Almost starts off like an amber ale.
That is not how I expected this to be at all.
So it aged well. I mean, that's one thing I can say right off the bat. Like, I don't know how this was. I've never had the Y2K series before. I never heard of Y2K until we got this beer haul. And
wow,
this taste, I would love to see how this would have been fresh, but as an aged beer, it's very, very good.
There's a graininess to it too. I don't know if you get that, but I get a little bit of a graininess to this beer. Like, not in a bad way, by any stretch of the imagination. It's very, very good. But, I mean, 5 years in the bottle, I mean, this thing's doing pretty well for itself, yeah.
I would like a slight bit more sweetness to it. If I'm going to have a barley wine, I like a little bit on the sweeter end, but for the most part, this is a very good beer, very solid.
I think what you're missing is that front end barley wine sweetness, where it like gets you right on the front end of the beer, that caramel, that sweetness, that toffee note, and then it kind of like bleeds into the back. But here, it's all on the back end of the beer, which is a little bit odd.
Yeah.
But that might be the aging on this.
It very well could be. So, if I'm looking at this one on Untappd, I think it's very good. I'm a big barley wine fan.
I mean, where are you going to get this at this point?
You're never going to get this again. And I like Central Waters makes a very good barley wine. Just I guess more than the regular barrel aged barley wine. It's very, very tasty. I'm gonna have this one at about a 3.75. I think it's very good. I just want a little bit more sweetness to it.
I think I'm going to fight you on this one a little bit.
Okay.
I think just the aging on it, I wasn't sure what to expect, right? You never know, aging these beers, what it's going to come out tasting like 5 years in the future. I've got to give this one a lot of credit. I think it's settled really, really well. All the notes of a barley wine are still here. The intrigue of the missing front end onto this beer actually makes me like it more, because it's kind of like you taste it and you're like, wait, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put this at a 4.25 because this is just like an experience type beer for me.
I think you bring up a good point. I mean, I'm giving it a 3.75. I don't think I'm giving this due credit for aging 5 years in a bottle at this point. And, you know, it aged well. I mean, seeing it 5 years, I would not guess this is a 5-year-old beer. So, no, really good, really well done. I mean, I like I said, I would love to have it fresh. Fun to have a beer that's 5 years old. I don't think we're getting anything any older than that, are we?
We are.
Oh, are we?
Huh.
Oh.
Weird. Wow. So, we've got this little gold top on here. If you saw our beer hall video, we were a little confused because Central Waters doesn't put gold caps on their bottles. And we were like, this is a little fishy.
Suspect.
What's going on? So what we actually found out in some additional research is that this beer from Central Waters is actually from all the way back in 2013. In 2013, what were you doing, Ross?
Not beer review videos.
Well, that's true, because that's only been happening for like 5 months.
And we did do a good amount of research, and we also looked at the label, which says 2013 right there.
It does say 2013. But 2013, I was married for a year.
Yeah.
I just bought my first house. I mean, we are talking 8 years in the bottle at this point. So this is the Kosmyk Charlie's Y2K series from Central Waters. This comes in at 10% ABV, at least per the original batch number on this beer. So I'm really excited to pop this thing open and check it out. This is another one of those unique experience beers I think we're going to have here. So let's get this thing in the bottle and see what we think.
All right, so let's get this one cracked open. Heard the carbonation, so that's a good sign.
Kosmyk Charlie's Catastrophe Ale. Hopefully it's not a catastrophe.
It's a good color.
It's a little bit darker
Yeah.
than the 2-year.
Yep. Doesn't seem to be as carbonated, but actually still for 8 years, still very good carbonation in there. Or a little more down the center, see what we can get. So no, it looks good though.
Oh man. Catastrophe Ale. All right, Ross. Let's tap in and get a little nose on this 2013 barley wine from Central Waters.
Smell it from here.
Woo.
That is a much stronger smell.
There's a mustiness to this
Little
that
bit.
was definitely not on the other beer.
This one smelled sweeter though.
There is more sweetness on the nose for sure. But even just looking at it, like I'm even looking at the other one, and there's still more carbonation on the first beer than this.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. It dissipated almost immediately, so. In fairness, it's almost twice as old.
I'm getting toffee and sweetness on this one, but not. No, it's there. I mean, the barley wine notes are there for sure. I don't feel like it's as strong as the 2-year vintage, but
The thing I'm getting most on this is the coffee and the caramel.
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
that sweetness that's really coming forward in this one more than anything else. So,
yeah. All right,
all right.
let's give this thing a shot.
Cheers, Blake.
Cheers.
That's so good.
Oh my
That's
God.
really good.
That's
This
amazing.
is fantastic. The first one was very good. This is much more what I wanted in a barley wine. It's very sweet. It's not very. I shouldn't say very sweet. It's a good sweetness to it with that. Still got that like barley wine alcohol kind of forwardness to it.
Wow.
Lots of depth to the flavoring here. all the way through, beginning and end, and it more hits you up front, and it dissipates really nicely all the way through. It's really good.
It's solid from the front to the back. The toffee, the caramel, the barley wine notes are all there. You get a little bit of an alcohol tone right on the front end, but it's subdued within those notes. It's so smooth.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is this smooth? It is beyond smooth.
I'm sad that this is an 8-year-old beer that we're probably not going to be able to find again.
We'll never have this ever again. So just enjoy it while you still can. Wow. This was
good.
This is worth the beer hall by itself.
Absolutely.
For one beer. I mean, these two.
Yeah. This is fantastic. And again, like, if you would have poured this for me blind and told me this is 8 years old after the fact, I would have never believed you. It tastes
fresh.
It tastes so good. And like I said, like, Central Waters does a great job with their barley wines. This is knocking it out of the park, though. This is so good.
I'm just thinking about drinking an 8-year-old beer and how 8 years ago, thinking about drinking an 8-year-old beer, I'd be like, nah, no way. Wow. Yeah. This is fantastic. Having to put a rating on this between these two, this is definitely the better beer. I mean, aged. I've got to give Central Waters a ton of credit.
Yeah.
Their barrel aging program is solid. It's always been really, really good. This has lasted the 8 years that it needed to. In fact, it's gotten, I'm assuming, better than it even was at the start. I'm going to put this is probably going to be the highest rated beer that I've put on this show. I'm putting this at a 4.75. And I'm putting it at a 4.7. It's not perfect, but it is darn good. And it is exactly what I would expect in a barley wine and more based on that aging.
I don't think much more needs to be said. I'm actually going to fall right in line with you. I'm going to get a 4.75. I think this is so good. It's such a relieving surprise to have this.
I was expecting this to suck.
It was,
honestly,
it's when you get a beer that's that old and you age a beer, like, there's always just that slight fear that, oh my God, that ages for too long. You know, certain beers you can kind of go like 5-year mark and everything, and you're still okay. But when you get to 8 years on something, you just don't know. Right. You have no idea what's going to happen with it. This stayed. I don't know how it stayed.
Especially for a 10% beer. Exactly. I mean, this isn't like some 14, 15%. Aged, high ABV beer. I mean, I'm not saying 10% is low, but I mean, this is really good.
I wish I had the comparison of how this tastes fresh, but I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
This is so good, and this is damn tasty, and I would love to find a second bottle at this point, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to.
No way in hell.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Really having fun with this From the Cellar series. We got a ton more stuff. This is only our second one. We got a ton more stuff to go through in this series, so it's going to be a lot of fun to do that. Check us out on the rest of our social media platforms: Facebook, Untappd, Twitter, Instagram, eventually TikTok, maybe if we really feel excited one night and you figure it out. Check us out on those social media channels. Like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got one of these in your cellar, I doubt it, but if you do, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. We'd love to buy it from you, actually. Hit us up. But really, really great stuff here from Central Waters. Look for more videos coming here in the very near future, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
I would just pour them both. Yeah, you know what you're doing.
What do you mean pour them both?
Well, pour both glasses.
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. Why would?
What was the other one?
Why wouldn't? Why? Only pour one. F*** you. I get to try it. All right, hold on. Shit. Okay.